For those who haven't seen the previous episodes of Invincible, it follows the Mauler twins attempting to launch a nuke but are intercepted by the Guardians of the Globe. Mark joins the battle, but the Maulers overpower him, claiming they are now businessmen. Oliver also rushes to help, but as Mark stops the missile in space, Oliver loses control and brutally kills the twins, covering himself in blood. Cecil and the Guardians witness this, and Mark is horrified at what his brother has done. A confrontation ensues, with Oliver justifying his actions, showing a dangerous Viltrumite mindset. Eve comforts Mark, while Debbie tries to teach Oliver the value of human life. As Oliver apologizes to his mother, Mark discovers a spy drone, which detonates upon capture. In a mid-credit scene, Angstrom Levy is revealed to be behind the surveillance. Now, the episode 4 of Invincible Season 3 begins with Rex Splode and Shrinking Ray inside a supermarket, trying to get what the team will eat now that they are no longer part of the GDA. However, Rex insisted that they go get a drink, but Shrinking Ray declined before they both began to discuss about their childhood. Shrinking Ray informed Rex Splode that her both parents had her on an engineering diet before she could even eat a solid food, and she has always find this weird, given the fact that she has the ability to shrink. Although she will try making dinner for the guys, however, Rex is very surprised by this, but she said she would get some instruction from the internet. However, just then there was an explosion nearby, so the two immediately ran to check that out. The scene shifted to Invincible meeting with the crew and requesting Robot to get more information about the spy drone he caught earlier. However, Robot informed him that the drone is really damaged to ascertain who built it or who is controlling it, and he also believed this was intentionally made by its design. However, Robot warned Mark, stating, whoever made this has more significant resources at their disposal. Just then Mark goes crazy again and approached Cecil and his reanimants in a brutal way, thinking he was the one responsible for all this spying. However, during his fight, Cecil arrived to contain Mark with the device he had built, which really handicapped Mark. Quickly, Mark questioned him about the spy drone, but just then, Cecil reveals to Invincible that he had no idea of this, plus the drone isn't from his tech laboratory, and even if they wanted to spy on Mark, he would never know. Once he leaves, Donald confronts Cecil about what Mark had said, but Cecil revealed to him that although they are truly spying on Mark, however not with that drone, so they must find the person behind all this. Just as Mark leaves, he remembered he had a date with Eve, so he immediately went to meet her. So during their short discussion, a portal opens right beside them, and it was the aforementioned time-traveling perps from earlier who had stolen the Declaration of Independence. He approached Invincible, stating that they need his help, and it is very urgent as it involves life and death. The two then introduced themselves as Dropkick and Fightmaster. When Mark tells them that they should be imprisoned for their actions, the two informed Mark that they had a very good reason for stealing the Declaration of Independence, and they are from the future, plus millions of life were at stake. They simply want Mark to overthrow their king, as he is the only one who has the ability to do so. However, Mark refused to help as he is on a date with Eve. Just as Mark continued his conversation with Eve, Dropkick and Fightmaster then drag Mark into the portal with them. Mark is very furious by this, but they beg and told him that if he could just help them out, they will prove to him that they are actually the good guys, plus they will also return the stolen Declaration of Independence. Mark agreed to help, but on their way, Mark is very shocked of what had become of the world. In a flashback, Dropkick narrates to we the viewers what had happened, as centuries ago, the planet was on the brink of collapse, then one man was made the ruler of Earth and he ruled well, at least for a while, then something changed. Although they don't know what happened exactly as it was before their time, but slowly he went mad. He introduced new law, mandatory work camps, prison for dissenters, senseless wars for no reasons, and the entire nations punished and forced to survive without power or technology. When he personally took off 19 cities off the map for resisting, that was when the rebellion was born. So when they tried to stop him, he was too strong. They even built a time machine so they could look for solutions from the past, but this was also a bad idea, as every options in it didn't even work until they saw Mark. Immediately, Mark asked if he is a Viltrumite, which they don't know. So immediately they began to shoot to draw attention. Quickly, they are surrounded by the Royal Guard, and there are millions of them. Invincible attacked them all, but Dropkick and Fightmaster informed Mark they actually want to be captured, as it is the fastest way to meet the king. The robot informed Mark they have been waiting for him. They all arrived at the king's headquarters, where they are all separated. After a long walk, Mark finally met with the king, and to our surprise, we discovered it was a mortal. He also recognized Mark, and he is truly happy to see him. Just then, he tells Mark that it has been so many years since he left Earth with his family, but at that moment, Mark revealed to Immortal that he is from another Earth. Mark asked why he was hurting people, but just then Immortal became mad at Invincible for letting him take control of the planet, as Mark knew he wasn't even a Viltrumite. Immortal blames Mark for all the destruction that occurred on Earth, as he never wanted this responsibility, but Mark said he was the only one he trusted. He began to discuss about the disadvantage to being immortal, as he has outlived everyone he had ever loved. He then requested that Mark help him end this torment by killing him. He wanted Mark to end his suffering, but Mark told him to just quit, but he informed Mark that a king do not quit. However, Mark still refuses to kill Immortal, and quickly a battle ensues between them. Meanwhile, Dropkick and Fight Master escape from the Royal Guard's custody and arrive to meet Mark. So after seeing this, Immortal attacked Dropkick, but fortunately for them, Mark intervened. This made a very tense battle ensues between the two, which eventually ends with Mark killing the Immortal. Mark is really heartbroken by this, but Dropkick and Fight Master comfort him by saying the Immortal has done more harm than good. Just as Mark leaves the building, the Royal Guard robot arrived at the scene, informing them that the king is dead and authority is now transferred to the people. Afterwards, Mark with Dropkick and Fight Master proceeded to leave. Mark arrived to meet Eve, and sadly Mark told Eve about all that had happened. She comforted her boyfriend, after which Mark returned the stolen Declaration of Independence. That same day, Mark and Eve continue to have a pleasant day together by traveling around the world. Quickly, the scene seems to come to an end as Eve and Mark spend a romantic time together to get intimate with each other on Earth. The focus of the episode shifts to the Viltrumite prison. With a narrator voice, we get a recap of how Alan was captured by the Viltrumites and why he wants the partially reformed Nolan to join the Coalition of Planets. At the end of the previous season, even though we saw that Nolan missed his wife in this season, Nolan seems like he has gone back to wanting the Viltrumites to execute him for his inability to conquer Earth and for starting a family on Thraxa. As the executioners arrive to prepare and take Nolan away to beat him to death, Alan breaks his cuffs and proceeds to break the prisoners out of their cell so that they keep the guards busy while he searches for Nolan. Unfortunately, during this process, Alan comes across BATTLEBEAST, whose search for a worthy opponent worthy of his strength, opponent who can give him a glorious death, has apparently brought him here. Alan promises that the Viltrumites will give BATTLEBEAST a good fight. BATTLEBEAST agreed to this, so Alan began to guide him towards the executioners. However, Alan nearly messes things up by taking BATTLEBEAST to the wrong chamber. This really made BATTLEBEAST very furious, but fortunately for Alan, he found out where Nolan was kept, making the BATTLEBEAST very excited when he realizes that the Viltrumites are everything that he wanted in an opponent and even more. Therefore, with Alan, Nolan, and BATTLEBEAST on one side, and the Viltrumite executioners and the armed guards on another, a serious battle ensues, although Alan was seriously beaten by one of the Viltrumite. However, Nolan got crazy and furiously began a truly epic meltdown. Alan destroys the walls of the space prison, thereby throwing everyone out into the cold void of space. The guards die instantly. Alan and Nolan eliminated one of the executioners, while BATTLEBEAST floats away with the other executioner. Alan informed Nolan that they need to leave immediately for Telescria, a planet where the Coalition of Planets is headquartered, before the Viltrumites learn about their escape and send reinforcements. Nolan reveals that the Viltrum Empire is on its last legs, as there are less than 50 pure-blooded Viltrumites, and that's the species' best-kept secret. Hence, no reinforcements are going to come, and if the Coalition really puts their backs into it, the Viltrumites can be defeated. The scene shifted to where Mark and Eve decide to get a house or apartment of their own so that they can have some privacy. The Season 3, Episode 4 of Invincible then came to an end. Kindly subscribe to get updated for more recap next week. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.